Thanks again, everybody, for joining us again on another edition of Spincast here with Stay Plugged In. Very excited to have another family joining me this evening. I've got Aiden Molina and his mom, Liz, who both reside in Virginia. Aiden is currently part of our Fall Nationals program and participating in Rocket League. So first off, thank you both very, very much for joining us this evening. I hope you're both doing well. Aiden, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just like playing some Rocket League before. I just realized that we had this meeting as well. Yeah.
Good deal. Always good getting practice in. Gotcha. Liz, how are you doing this evening?
Good. Thank you for having us on. I'm happy. I'm happy that he got Player of the Week. I've never been fully on board with the whole thing, but I'm getting there.
Got it. You're probably just like most parents, to be honest with you. Part of the reason we started this company is to help players like Aiden hopefully get a good foundation, meaning it's good to practice, it's good to play, but it can't be your number one priority in general, or shouldn't be right now. At your age, academics, obviously you probably have chores around the house, things that you have to help your family with, things like that. But if you do all of those things, then I'm sure your mom would be a little bit more able to say, yeah, go ahead and play and get what you want to get done because you did everything else. So as a company, that's what we're trying to educate kids with. But the same side is to try to educate parents as well. There's a lot of opportunities out there that Aiden could potentially take advantage of with scholastic scholarships to go to college and continue to play Rocket League or any other game that you may be interested in, as well as obviously career opportunities. So let's dive a little bit into that. Aiden, for you, what got you involved with Rocket League? What made you get interested in playing this game in particular?
It was a fusion of what I liked, what I liked the most. At the time I was playing soccer on a team. So I grew up like basically watching and playing soccer.
Okay.
And I had like a pretty good interest in like cars. I know they're pretty cool. They still are. What got me really into what I noticed about Rocket League was that it wasn't just car ball. There was so much more behind it. Like there was things that you could do that you couldn't do normally with like car ball, like going up an aerial. And at the time, I think the way I started playing it was I had a friend come over to my house, and we had picked out a game at a GameStop, and first thing I saw was Rocket League, so I was like, all right, let's play this out. And for the first time I played it, it was like this game's pretty fun, but I don't think it was like I took it competitively until like 2018, like end of 2018 when I got my Xbox. That. And I was like, all right, you know what? I see pros making a career out of this. I see coaches making a career out of this. I see casters making a career out of this. So I was like, might as well just dip my toes in. I was like, someone who's young and I have like my whole life ahead of me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this, and I'm glad I did, because I don't know what I would I don't know what I would have been doing if I didn't play Rocket League.
Got it. Interesting. So, I talked to a number of students that play traditional sports as well, like soccer or baseball or football, or whatever, and they bring that competitiveness over into esports. And that's usually why they end up being pretty good at it, because they had that competitive fire all along. And it didn't matter if it was soccer or Rocket League or music, whatever they were into, they wanted to be really good at it. So that's cool. What, do you have a favorite either soccer team or soccer player that you still follow?
I used to be a big FC Barcelona fan. I kind of dropped, but I'm into DC United now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like Barca.
Yeah, but it's good, watching like other players play. It's like a motivation to see what they do with like their career, and it's like it's different than having like a normal 9-to-5 job. You do what you gotta. You do, like you play what you love. It's really just like the passion that like what drives me the most to play Rocket.
Good deal. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for out of students that are really passionate about what they're doing, so that we can express that to the collegiate coaches and let them know, hey, this isn't just a good player, but he's incredibly passionate. He's a hard worker. This is a good fit for that school as well, which that's what a lot of college coaches look for. They want more than just a Rocket League player, because there's a lot of them. They want a good person, a good student that's going to make it a good fit for them. So Liz, I know when we started the conversation, you said you're starting to get a little bit more used to it. Tell me, go back maybe a year or two, and what that was like in the house when he was playing, and what that made you feel like, etc.
Oh, it was like talking to a wall, literally. I mean, it would be like, Aiden, I need you to do this, and headset and all zoomed in, into the game, and I'm like, Aiden, um, it's kind of like it was hard, and at one point, I think sometime like with COVID and everything, I think I let it be his coping mechanism, because we've been stuck. We've been inside the house, like a lot of things, like spring soccer got canceled. Then the fall was like, do we do it? Do we not? It's we've been trying to make sure we stay safe. So, right before the school year started this year, because I knew everything was going to be virtual, that wasn't something that we had considered, for him to actually even go in. I had sat down with him and I wanted to see what he was thinking. And I told him, I was like, look, I really don't care for you to play or dedicate as many hours, to it, so long as you meet the expectations. And, it's like every school year, we've always had this conversation. But it seems like it kind of like something happened, it clicked, and I also think it's also like since he's home, he sees what I go through. He sees my struggles. He sees, we're confined. So he sees all of the things
stuck with
that,
her.
No, I'm stuck with you. So, I think it's a little level of maturity on his behalf. So, usually every year when we're having the conversation, school, expectations, it's like, yeah, I get you. But like, he's really focusing on something else. But this year, it was very different. And he just was like, okay, yeah, no, I totally, it's like, this is what I want to do with Rocket League. Like I want to get scholarships. I want to play pros, like he gave me all these lists of things, and I told him, and I actually, like, I think maybe also on my side where I saw what he was going through, I listened to him, and I maybe for the first time in like we both kind of like set eye to eye on the whole thing, and the expectations were very clear. He's very well aware that I'm allowing him, to participate in a tournament, so long as school is top priority. I was like, play all you need to play, do whatever you need to do, but your school priority, like you're not going to get anywhere if you don't have a good GPA, whether it's a regular scholarship or a Rocket League, esports scholarship. Your GPA is very, very important. And it's, I think something that a lot of kids, even me, when I was in high school, I went to his same high school. Your freshman year, you kind of sit and you're like, oh, I'm a high schooler. You have that little aura around you. And you don't take things so seriously. And then your sophomore year comes and you're like, oh, I've really got to work. So he knows. Yeah. He knows.
Good. Well, both of you bring up some interesting points, and this is for the audience that listens. I think it's so critical. And the first part of that is a little bit of maturity on the child, boy or girl. If you're into esports or any passion that you have that you love to do, you can really have your cake and eat it too, as long as you have the maturity to understand where my priorities lie. Right. I have to get at these ages, it's really about building that foundation, making sure I study, have good study habits, have academics. If I can work out a little bit, great. If I am eating properly, things like that really all come into play. And then from the parent side, Liz, you said it perfectly. You said you listened, and sometimes that's hard. That's not easy. But to your point, you're able to find out, hey, this is his passion. And for Aiden, you know, I'm sure you want the very best for him. So let me listen. Let me find out what it is that's driving him. And maybe there's that compromise, setting those expectations, using the word you used, so that both of you hopefully are in a better scenario. And now you're stuck with each other technically, but it sounds like it's a good stuck with each other versus not. Because I know plenty of gamers and plenty of parents that, man, it's rough at the home sometimes to get anything
done. There's been plenty of times where, you know, it's like I've wanted to do those YouTube videos where the parent goes and smashes the Xbox. Yeah, there's been plenty of those moments in the past. But, you know, it had to come to a point where we had to listen to each other and see. And, you know, we bumped bumped heads a lot in the past over it. But, you know, like you said, you know, it's like, it's a compromise. And, you know, I think the biggest thing is like the level of maturity that Aiden's at. I think COVID was
miracle.
not a miracle, but it was like a blessing in disguise for us.
Sure.
It has really helped our relationship, so that we're not really bumping heads over the gaming anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what I expect, and, you know, it's a good compromise. Good.
Aiden, where do you want this to take you? Let's just talk about the next level, meaning I know you're a sophomore in high school now. Is there, first off, I guess my first question, is there an esports either club or team at your high school or no?
I've been familiar with GMU, George Mason University, for like since the beginning of this year. You know, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this seriously. I'm gonna take my passion for Rocket League and make my career. I'm gonna take it seriously. So what I did was I was like, all right, let me look for some universities that have like a Discord server, since that's what I use the most. Mm-hmm. And I found George Mason. And lucky enough, I'm in a program where it gives first generation students an opportunity to, you know, get a scholarship and be admitted to George Mason. Awesome. So I have I really have like a golden ticket towards where I want to go. I'm really fortunate enough to be part of that program. Yeah. So I found that GMU had a Discord server. I got familiar with their players, especially the Rocket League players. And when they had a what's called what was that?
Fundraiser.
They had a fundraiser, and that's basically where it clicked. Like, you know,
they made me drive them from Arlington to Fairfax.
Wow. It was worth it, because I don't think without the previous team manager and the team manager they have now, the players, I don't think my passion would be so lively like right now, like it is. So I really devoted myself to, you know, grind, you know, put in the hours this summer. I don't think I did anything but play Rocket League. Like it's when I get serious about something, I don't think I ever can, like, you know, like let it pass by easily. I think GMU really helped me kind of like shape like my career. Got me into like watching like other like competitions like CRL, Collegiate Rocket League, and just watching GMU grow as a team. It's been like it's really been well. I think I could. It's like they've helped me a lot. They've helped me a lot.
That's awesome.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, well, GMU is probably the place to go. Yeah, for me.
Gotcha. Well, I like the way you expressed it. You said it's a golden ticket, which I think sometimes kids your age specifically don't see that, meaning they don't realize the opportunity that really is in front of them, and that you got to take advantage of it. They're not just going to give it to you. Nothing's given in this world in general. So for you, putting in the time, putting in the grind, as you say, the practice and everything else, and balancing, making sure you've got that balance beyond just gaming is going to be critical for you, especially because at some point, hopefully COVID passes, right? You flash forward to your freshman year at GMU, and Liz isn't going to be right next to you anymore. So it's your responsibility to create all of those good habits now, so that when you get there, you're going to be successful as well. It's not like you're recreating or having to create it at that point. So good for you to see that. Let's talk a little bit more beyond Rocket League for a moment, if you can. Let's say Rocket League is now out of the picture. You can no longer play, you've aged out, etc. You still want to be in the esports field in general, doing something within esports? I do. Okay, what would that be?
Honestly, I mean, like I said, I only really play Rocket League, but I wouldn't really just be into the esports scene just like as a player. I think, I've helped a couple of my friends before, I've given them advice. So I think
Mhm.
coaching might be a career if I wanted it to be.
Good.
Not even not even just in inside of Rocket League, like as well. Like maybe not even just like for esports in general. Like
Mhm.
I could coach. I feel
Mhm.
like I do have like the skills of what a coach needs, and I feel like if I really applied myself, I could do something out of it.
Yeah. That's a great.
Take the chance. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great career. And there's a lot of colleges actually giving scholarships for exactly that, for esports coaches. Now you're going to go and play Rocket League, I'm sure. But even beyond
Yeah.
that, as a job and everything else, that's going to be so much in demand because this space is growing, but it's going to get so much larger in time because a lot more parents like myself and Liz come to an understanding that, hey, there's opportunities here. If my son or daughter does this right, we should go down this path and support them and everything else. So for you, Liz, what do you see besides gaming? What are some of the other passions you see that Aiden has that are some strengths that he brings to the table?
Um, well, kind of to piggyback on what he
Mhm.
said about the coaching and giving advice. Every once in a while, like I like to nap in his room. We have dogs, so
Mhm.
whenever I nap in my room, like my dogs come to me. So I just wanted my space. So kind of like was dozing, but he was talking with his teammates, I believe, or friends, and I was just very blown away at the level of maturity. Again, I keep saying maturity, but I was very blown away by the level of maturity that he showed. And when he was talking to his friend was down over something, and he was like, well, like you're doing great, you're a great player, he was giving all these positives. Because sometimes, it's like as a parent, you're always kind of like one ear paying
Mhm.
attention to what they're doing and what they're saying, and like the interactions that they're having online.
Mhm.
So I I was very happy and I was very pleased, and it was like it really warmed my heart that I am raising a son that is very caring and uses the right words, to express himself and encourage others when others are down. So you know, I was just like tears, literally. It's very, it's just like wow, like that is the human that I'm raising.
Yep. Yep. He's got a good head on his shoulders, no doubt. And it's interesting that you bring that up, Liz, because that's their social outlet. It was before COVID, but right now more than ever, right? For teenagers,
Yeah.
especially who are staying at home, and whether they're really serious about gaming or just they do it casually, that's still their social outlet. And lots of times you'll hear things that you probably don't want to hear online and things like that, right? You want to
Yeah.
block out that toxicity. But it's funny because sometimes I'll hear my oldest and I'll hear things come out of him that I wouldn't normally hear, like at the dinner table or something like that. It's just they're able to express themselves in a mature level. And it's certainly a proud moment to know that, hey, it's in you, and to hear it come out of you and while you're growing, that's just fantastic because that's a huge social aspect in general. Aiden, obviously you won Gamer of the Week last week, and it's probably for all of those
Yep.
reasons in general. We were only able to pick one out of a lot of really good gamers, but obviously that goes into taking into account you're super good at Rocket League, obviously, first and foremost, but you're a
Yep.
great teammate. And I can't stress more than enough that being a great teammate and being a really good player really will solidify your spot at a college somewhere, whether it's GMU, which it sounds like that's really what you've got your focus in on, or somewhere else. That's what guys are looking for. That's what coaches are looking for. Someone that's going to make their program better from the inside out. Because there's a lot of good Rocket League players out there, but there's not a lot of people like you that are going to make the player next to them on either side better as well. So kudos
Yeah.
to you for winning one, and hopefully you'll repeat it. Hopefully you'll get a couple more gamers of the week before it's all said and done. Let's talk about your team with Fall Nationals. How are you guys doing in general?
We're doing good. Really, we're just kind of like at a tough spot because I mean, obviously we have we have other things to do other than Rock League. We have
Sure.
soccer practice. We have family things to do. We have things to take care of. I'm just
Of
trying to
course.
like get it worked out. I understand like if they have soccer practice, you know what? That's fine. We're just gonna have to work it out. We're gonna have to like find a way where we can all play because I really want my teammates to play.
Mhm.
Mostly because we don't have a sub, but it's just more like I also want them to take advantage of the opportunity that you guys are giving us through Spin and the Fall Nationals. It's like I was on a call with one of my teammates discussing like, what we're gonna do after this, and we found out that there was gonna be an October split and a November split. And you were like, you know what? Let's do it. We like the first split so far. We like the September split. We really enjoyed it. We really think it's a good opportunity for us, for high schoolers, to get, aware of like collegiate esports. So we were on like a 1 hour call, and in that 1 hour call, I really like figured out what my passion was, and I figured out what my team's passion was. We understand each other. We didn't know that we had things like, so we had so much things in common. So now the main focus is, what, it's not about how much wins we have or how much goals we have. It's more about, how we improve as a team and how we improve as an individual, so that when push comes to shove, right? When push comes to shove, we can stand out either as an individual or we stand out united, like, so that we can form well. Shout out to our coach as well, like, coming, like, helping us improve, helping us with like reviews. So shout out to Alpha Giddy, but I don't think if it wasn't for them, for my teammates and my coach, I don't think I'd be like, I don't think it'd be like it would build to my passion, because without them, I don't think it's never just one person on a team that can do everything. It's always the team itself.
Yep.
So we're just trying to get better. We're putting in hours. We're trying to improve, and I'm looking forward to what we do in the future in the next split.
Yep, no doubt. You guys are going to do damage. You guys are going about it the right way. I'm sure Alpha Giddy will be happy to hear that. For us, our passion is exactly what I stated at the beginning. We want to make sure we give every opportunity possible to any gamer out there to understand what's available at the collegiate level, so that when you get on campus, you're amongst friends, right? Doing something that you already love, which also leads to better engagement in school too, because every day you wake up fired up to make sure, hey, I got to make sure my grades are good so I can go game, keep my GPA up, things like that, and then potentially get that career, whether it's as a coach or anything else that fits you as you get older and older. I'm sure you'll figure those things out. You have plenty of time. But we love to hear stories just like yours. So for you, Liz, what do you see Aiden doing once he gets to GMU? What do you think? Do you think he'll pursue coaching, or you think he'll pursue something different?
I don't know. I mean, as far as career, he's really into gaming. Mm-hmm. He's really, it's like years ago, like, I mean, probably embarrass him right now, but he would have like full-blown meltdowns. You're ruining my career, I'm like, what career? What are you talking about? It's gaming. No, that's not a career. But again, you start listening.
Yeah.
So I as any parent want the best for him. As an adult, you realize that if you're not, if you're in a job or any career that you don't enjoy, then it's tough. It's not fun. Right. And it's very hard. It's very hard to get up every day and do what you have to do, so wherever it takes him, wherever life takes him, whatever he chooses to do, he knows that he has my support. Yep. He knows that so long as it makes him happy, Mom will be there.
Awesome. That's awesome. And that's what's needed. Quite frankly, that's what's needed. And for you both, you may know this, you may not, but there's almost any career you can choose technically and still be involved with esports. If you think about it, there's attorneys, because all the pro players, they need agents. They need someone to read those contracts and outline those contracts, etc. If you think of nurses in terms of making sure that people are healthy and doing the right things as a pro, right? Working out, things like that. Nutritionists, those are things kind of on the outside, but obviously there's production, there's video editing, there's software development, there's event management, event coordination. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on, just beyond the gaming as a pro or as a coach. And the beauty of that is, if you end up with any of those careers, you're going to be around this passion that you have as a career for the rest of your life, which I think is awesome. As a parent, I think that's a beautiful thing. To your point, you know, if we can support our children and get them into a career path that they wake up to and love to do, you've already almost won the race, and it's a long race, but
Yeah.
yeah, agreed.
You're halfway there with that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Makes everything else in life a little bit easier, and life's pretty difficult as it is. So, Aiden, Liz, honestly, really a pleasure to have you both on tonight. Thank you so very much for taking a little bit of time. I hope, Aiden, you guys continue to enjoy the Fall Nationals. Our goal is to help you in every way possible. So please never feel afraid to ask questions. If we can make introductions to any school, obviously now we're going to reach out certainly to George Mason at some point. And talk a little bit about the character, the player that you are, and help to solidify that relationship. So hopefully that's something we'll see come to fruition. And in a couple of years, you'll be playing for them, and we'll be interviewing there as you're talking to them. Yeah, hopefully. If you think it and you do work towards it, it can happen. There's no doubt about it. So great head on your shoulders. Keep it up. Keep going towards your goals. And again, we appreciate you both. So for everyone listening, thank you so much for plugging in and listening to another edition of Spincast here at Stay Plugged In. We look forward to hearing a little bit more about Aiden and Liz as they continue on their journey, and we'll promise to keep you updated on that. So have a good evening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.